So speaking of handsome guys that everyone wants to fuck, Felix, I thought we'd kick off the show today. Matt and I saw a film last night that we feel compelled to share with you, or like tell you a little bit about.
Oh, you guys finally watched Mr. Hands.
Close. It's actually more soul-rending.
Oh,
than
God,
watching
Oh,
that.
you saw The Adventures.
No, we did not see The Adventures. We saw a little documentary that is now available on Amazon called "Who is Arthur Chu?"
Awesome.
The documentary made about the meteoric rise of Jeopardy champion and Gamergate pundit.
No, he is
Arthur Chu.
everywhere. Like, you can't go anywhere without seeing. Like, he's on Times Square billboards.
Yeah,
and
his
shit.
moment is definitely here. It has not passed at all.
No, it's good to take like 17 years to make a documentary.
Yeah.
Because in that time, about one guy.
Well, here's the thing. You might look at it, and I know when I heard this was being made, I thought, who asked for this? This is a terrible idea. And then it came out 2 years after, and just there could be nothing less relevant. But then we watched it, and I have to say, hand to God, it is riveting. It is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. Not a joke. They get under the top layer of residue and moisture on Arthur and get to a deep, penetrating analysis of him that is fucking breathtakingly harrowing to experience.
Felix, it definitely had like very strong Adam Curtis vibes to this movie. Because picture this, Felix. Picture this, Felix. Some sort of like ambient, ominous, like industrial music track playing in the background as the camera tracks like Arthur just like gormlessly walking around like a convention hall, like giving lectures to progressively smaller and smaller groups of people.
Holy shit, this sounds good.
Yeah, it's got that Adam Curtis ambient dread, but then it's
This time I
also
said
got
Curvis.
Adam Curtis. Adam Curtis.
Wet
ambient-
Melvis. The famous documentarian Wet Melvis.
It's got that wet Melvis sense of ambient dread, but then it has the fly on the wall, piercing observational incisiveness of like a Maisels Brothers movie. Like I felt like I was watching Salesman or something at some point.
I don't want to belabor go too in on the Arthur Chu documentary, but like Matt, I think we should just share like each of our like what is like the one most memorable scene
the thing
from this movie.
is that it kept topping it.
Like,
so
give me one or two.
Halfway through, there's a scene where he's having dinner with his father, and his dad is a austere Taiwanese immigrant who
And very serious Christian as
very
well.
serious Christian who has raised three kids, two of whom he's clearly proud of, and one of whom he is deeply disappointed in Arthur, and he can't even he cannot withhold his contempt for his own son. And there's a scene where they have lunch, and it's just him sort of like criticizing him, sort of not even sharply, but just because he can't think of anything else to say. So all he can think to say is like, you should talk more slowly when you do your speeches. Like that was his big feedback on his first big public speech to some like tech fuck conference, like the Progressitech epic fuck, lanyard con.
Buckle up, shitbirds,
Yeah.
because we're about to go forward, not backwards. Update your drivers, shit fucks.
Yeah.
Because, it's 2019 and people are equal, okay?
It was probably 2014, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
But so all he can think to do is say, you should speak more slowly. And then they just like these big, long, dead stretches, and they're barely talking. They can't make eye contact. And then finally the dad just goes, I have to go back to work. And he just basically cuts off the meal.
He ghosts Arthur halfway through lunch and pays for the meal, but leaves like almost a full plate in front of him on the table.
My God.
And he's just like, I got something at the office. I got to go.
And he's got a Chad brother.
Oh, does he
He's
really?
got a brother named Norbert Chu, who is not
That's
only
a
a successful
fucking strong name.
software engineer, he wanted Arthur to be, but also a good-looking dude. He within his own family, he is the virgin to his own brother, the Chad. It's astounding. And his brother's like, I don't really get what he's talking about all the time. It kind of doesn't seem to me like such a big deal, like what the video game girl boob size is. I know. I'm just trying to have a life.
Okay, well, people didn't like Van Gogh.
Yeah, he was chased by groups of children out of Arles.
Yeah,
He's very disturbed. The locals are very disturbed by him. And, the children would throw stones at him.
And look what he made. He painted Mona Lisa. And he built the Louvre.
Dude, I'm so sad that the Louvre burned down.
That
prayers sucks.
up. Prayers up for the Louvre. Mona Lisa will never forget you. You're up there with Paul Walker and Jasse.
Just one quick thing, and then my favorite scene is like the other, like, to me, the most fascinating thread in the movie is the portrayal of him and his wife.
God.
All I'll say
shit.
is that the last like end title card to the movie, like right before they roll credits, is the phrase "and now they are separated."
Yeah.
That's Herzog-y.
The keyhole view into his marriage is harrowing, but the scene I want to talk about that was my favorite scene in the movie is that, like, after he's like making an attempt to become like a sort of anti-Gamergate figure, he does a panel at like a video game con that is held at the Gaylord Convention Center in National Harbor, Maryland.
One of the most beautiful hotels.
Yeah,
I've
one of the
ever
most
been
beautiful
in.
hotels and convention centers in the world. And he gives a panel on like toxic rage and gaming culture. This was at the height of Gamergate,
Like 2014.
Yeah. And like the organizer is just like, I want it to be known this will be a civil panel, and if you act up, like, I'm taking your lanyard away. So Arthur gives his spiel about Gamergate, and he's sitting next to a woman who's like a university professor who like writes about these things, but she looks also sort of like into nerd culture. And Arthur does his spiel, and then like there's one mic at this panel for some bizarre reason, and he hands her the mic, and she says, like, I don't know what to say about this other than I personally feel terrified to be in this room right now. And like that says everything about Gamergate. So she says, like, I'm in mortal terror of the people in the audience. She says that. Arthur takes the mic back from her and goes, wow, okay, I'd like to open it up for discussion now.
He rocks.
He's like,
Absolutely rocks.
just no reaction at all. Like, yeah. So what about questions? And then his wife, the real footage is him and his wife. She is struggling. She's very unhappy. She has fibromyalgia. She's got a cane, and she does all the work in their house. She subordinates herself completely to Arthur's dream of becoming a notable figure, a salon writer about video games. And so she does the cooking and cleaning, and she gets his stuff while she's like walking around, hobbling around with a cane. And she'll just talk about how unhappy she is. And he just, like, there's all these scenes where she's either ironing or doing something and talking to him. And he's just lying on his back like an infant in a cradle, looking at his phone, making like monosyllabic responses. And then there's a scene, the other most harrowing scene in the movie is she is talking to him about how much she's struggling and how hard she feels like she doesn't have a purpose. She doesn't know what she's doing. And she needs, like, she basically wants some sort of acknowledgement of what's going on so that he can sort of help her. And he's across the table just staring at his phone. Doesn't look up for a second. Just poke a button to button and going like, yeah. And she's like, so what are you doing? And he goes, well, Steve wants to talk about a book project, so I might be doing that after Thanksgiving. And she goes, oh, great. Maybe I could help you with that. And he goes, do you need any help with that? And he goes, I don't think so.
And then she just goes, okay, I'll just continue to keep running support on my end.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's trad marriage. Alpha shit, dude. Fucking badass.
I highly recommend the Who is Arthur Chu.
Yeah, great
check it
movie.
out. And again, if you think we're being too mean to Arthur or whatever, he did on Twitter at a public forum baselessly speculate that all of us are guilty of sexual assault.
Yeah.
So fuck him. I don't care.
And you know what?
And it's like,
he's
you
an
know, like,
alpha.
yeah.
You just got fucking cucked, soy boy.
Dude, him
You
and
like that?
Him and Pope Hat are two of the biggest alphas on Twitter.
Popat's fucking strong, dude. He's jacked. He's hot. He's a good lawyer. I like his. I've never read his blog. I'm just going to assume the stuff that's on there. Right? It's probably like, it's Friday, so it's time for Law Cats, and it's like, cats behind legal books, and there's like, a Latin, the Latin terms in law, like objectionist, and it'll just be like a cat being like, I can has amicus brief, and it's funny, and I like it, and he's not, a 60-year-old man who isn't that good of a lawyer. He's cool.
I mean, that is on his blog. The other content that was on his blog were the musings on teenage sexuality by an insane neo-Nazi.
All right, well,
that
I
was
don't
also
know.
on
I
his
no
blog.
longer contribute to his blog, so I don't know why you're bringing that up.
Yeah, so check out that doc. And also, just as a pro tip, never allow yourself to be the subject of a
Yeah,
documentary
not a
that's
good idea.
about you unless you have Final Cut over everything that's in the
Yes.
film, because there's literally no way you will end up looking good.
All right, no, that's a good point. But can we like sort of like speed this episode along? I'm being interviewed by Isaac Chartner later.
So that's a little film review to start the episode. But let's see what's going on this week.